What you're about to experience are my opinions and truths. I'm suggesting they're possibilities for you to consider, in which you can then come up with your own logical conclusions. And hello everyone, welcome once again. My name is Logan and this is Decode Your Reality. Today I'm doing one on the decoding of Boaz and Jachin. This one's going to be pretty deep, folks. It's going to be quite lengthy. If you're willing to stick with this video, I promise you'll be able to see things you've never seen before. You know, groundbreaking material, folks. To me, anyway. Maybe this is something you've already discovered. I'm not trying to be Christopher Columbus, folks. I'm just here to deliver some vantage points that I see that perhaps you've never seen before. And obviously, this involves theology. It involves the crown, London. It involves astrology. It involves numerology. It involves alchemy. There's a lot of moving parts to this, folks. So if you're curious, stick with me till the end. I promise you it will be well worth the watch and the time you invest in going through this entire video. It all started with this, folks, right here. This is really what led me to deciding I was going to decode Boaz and Jachin, which, I mean, you know, what's interesting is it's mostly related to the Jewish nation and Jewish mysticism. But as you know, as the universe would have it, it's embedded in so many things, and that's why I say man is not running the show. Man is being used in this matrix reality. This is the location, the address, number 10 of the United Kingdom's government. You know, the Prime Minister and the head honchos, they all hang out here. 10 Downing Street. And we're going to get into that, folks. The symbology is all here. The tree of life, the Boaz and Jachin, it's all in here, folks. So here we go. Here are my methods of decoding. First and foremost, I use numerology. It's taking the spoken word, like Boaz and Jachin equaling 33, getting an output of that, and then tying that into other layers, which we're going to show you. But, you know, notice Boaz and Jachin is the same numerology output as solar and lunar, and that's what the Jewish calendar goes off of. Not the Gregorian, but the Jewish calendar, which predates the Gregorian. And this is what it looks like right here. This is the website, gematrinator.com. There are many ciphers. You can click all these boxes. If you're new to this, you can click all these boxes. You don't want to do that. It confuses everything. These are the two primaries that I feel are the ones you should start with and create off of there. These are the basics right now. This one right here, the English ordinal, is using the numbers 1 through 26, matching that of A to Z. And then my primary one is Chaldean, which these are the expressions of that. It only uses the numbers 1 through 8 and they're mixed. This works off of phonetics, which is the vibrational frequency of the numbers and letters themselves, which I find is far more accurate than any other system out there today. But nonetheless, they all have relevance. These are the two you should probably use. And then we bring in alchemy into this, folks. Another method is I take the spoken word, Boaz and Jachin, as a 33, and then we bring in science into this. That is the periodic table, the elements of the periodic table. Notice that arsenic has a 33 there. That's how many protons it has. And then, of course, here's its atomic weight, 74. And there's some vast, vast things we can use to decode from, but these are the two we match up together. It's numerology and alchemy. Now we're blending energies together. And that's where this comes into play right here, folks. This is the Royal Society of Chemistry. This is the periodic table. And each of these elements, they all carry certain parameters and perspectives and clues to go further in your decoding. And that's, if you're watching this video, I already know you're interested in this stuff. And my methodology may be new for some of you. You may have never seen this before, but I can guarantee you, and I base that off of my support of all my videos that I've created throughout the years, that this methodology works. This is where it's at when it comes to decoding the matrix reality. We are made up of all these elements, folks, and all these numbers and their atomic weights and all the little photos. You'll notice that each element has a little picture, and these pictures were put there on purpose. And then, of course, when you go to these elements and you click on these elements, you'll see the origins, and then you'll see where it's named after, and then you'll find the atomic. All these things are clues, folks, and that's what we do. We look for clues. The third layer I bring in, folks, above and beyond numerology and alchemy, is the tarot and the cards of illumination. Here is the tarot, and then its cousin is the cards of illumination, as I like to call them, the typical cards in a poker deck. Why these are so powerful? 52 cards matching 52 weeks, 4 suits matching the 4 seasons in nature. Each suit has 13 cards matching that of the lunar phases. So, what's interesting is the 7 of diamonds, the 33rd card, the matching that of arsenic, the 33rd element, and then, of course, Boaz and Jachin. So you just follow the breadcrumbs. And we're going to make heads or tails of this. The reason why I'm showing the 70th card is because the 7 of diamonds is the 7 of pentacles. These pentacles mean diamonds. You see them all right here. So 33 is directly linked to the number 70 because of this situation we have going on here. So here we go. We're going to start breaking this down. Boaz and Jachin is a 33 through the Chaldean cipher, just like the words solar and lunar. That's the Jewish calendar, folks, which predates the Gregorian, giving an antiquity. They're both a 17 and a 16. You can break that down as well. I'm going to keep it very basic, folks. Just follow the breadcrumbs. Here is the Arch in Freemasonry right here. And it's only showing the 7 astrology signs. Where are the other 5? We're going to get into that. I'm going to show you where they're at, and I'm going to support it with my opinion. Sun and moon, folks, matching that of solar and lunar. We're talking about the sun and moon. That equals 37. And the reason why I have electric eye here is because I believe the sun and moon are the eyes of the cosmos, which is what we have right here. Now, I found that, and I put that together because I went to the Royal Society of Chemistry, and I looked at the 37th element right here, rubidium, and notice the eye there. And, when you go into the uses and properties, you'll see the image explanation right here. The image is of an electric eye, and they always put it in parentheses, giving us a clue. It gives us a clue. And so, as logic, because you got to have logic, folks. You got to have logic. That's what most people lack. They lack logic and common sense. Not you, but most people lack that. And when we use our brains and we think, we say electric eye is 37, matching that of sun and moon. Well, wait a minute. Could the sun and moon, which are the 2 spheres over our head that look identical, could they be 2 eyeballs staring at us? 2 stargates, 2 time portals. One offers quite a bit of light and the other one offers very little. But nonetheless, they work in unison together. And that's why I have this element here, rubidium. 37th element. Here is its most abundant weight, 84.912. There's significance there. In the Bible, we're bringing theology into this. Boaz and Jachin, right here, these pillars were made of copper, brass, or bronze. I would say they're copper because in the periodic table, there is no brass or bronze. It would be copper, the 29th element. And of course, copper is heavily conductive for electricity, which is what these things are. Notice that copper has 29 protons, and then it has an atomic weight of 63, one of its weights, by the way. This is the average weight of copper. And that matches with two big name titles on the world stage. The Gnostic Demiurge. Gnostic is related centuries ago, thousands of years ago, and its probably companion Christianity. It was a sect of Christianity, but Yaldabaoth, the Gnostic Demiurge, the one they say runs this matrix reality, that equals the number 29. That matches copper's protons, and then the ancient Israelite god in the Jewish tradition is the YHVH, the Yod He Vah He. They didn't use vowels back then, so it was YHVH. And that equals 63, and 63 and 29 fit right on the element of copper, which is why I'm saying that these are linked. These pillars are linked to these two entities right here. So we could pose the question, is Yaldabaoth and YHVH, the Yod He Vah He, Yahweh, Jehovah, is this the same entity? Is it the same entity? And what the heck does it have to do with the astrology science? Well, there's 88 constellations, folks. That's tied to yttrium, and it goes really deep. Remember, 88's the number of time travel. Marty McFly had to get to 88 miles an hour. Why are there 88 constellations? These are great pieces we need to ponder, folks. Okay? So let's take a break from the arch. I'm going to get back to this, folks. Stick with me. I promise you it is all tied into the address of the government of the United Kingdom. 10 Downing Street. Now, if you know Kabbalah, you know there are 10 Sephiroths. Not 9, not 11, but 10. What most people fail to do is they leave out the 0, which you can't add it as 11 because 0 plus 10 still beats 10, but nonetheless it's still counted. But 10 is where it's at, and 10 is the first binary. It's the only binary number as a whole. The 1 and 0. This means masculine and feminine. Feminine is the 0, masculine is the 1. When we say the word 10, it equals the number 14. And then, of course, 10 is a 455. 455 is a 144, as in the 144,000 in the Bible. The chosen ones, the ones that are saved. And then when we look through the Chaldean, 455 is 63, and I showed this. 63 is tied to the YHVH. So is the chosen ones, are they tied to the YHVH? And why are they using 10 Downing Street? Listen, these guys in the hierarchies, they don't mess around, folks. They don't play games. They are right in your face, and they know what they're doing because they're being used. Some may have the knowledge, and some may know they're not being used, but some are being used. And, this is right here. If you've never seen this, this is the 10th letter in the Hebrew alphabet. It's called the Yod. And if you flip that and reverse it, it becomes the yin yang. So this is the yin. And it's related to the number 10. Yin, of course, is feminine. It's not masculine. We need a masculine to go with that. So we go a little further, folks. This is the actual street address, 10 Downing Street. Look at the numerology outcomes. 55. 55 is the 10th Fibonacci number, going right back to the number on the door, which going right back to the 10th Hebrew letter, which is the Yod. And then when we bring in the tarot, the 10th card is the Wheel of Fortune. And on this card, folks, is the letters Yod He Vah He, the Tetragrammaton. It's on there. I didn't put these cards have been around a long time. Look at the links, and it's undeniable. And you have the 4 faces on here, the ox, lion, eagle, man, and you're spinning the wheel. And notice, you have the devil at the bottom, you have the angel at the top, the blue and red shift, denoting your fate. You're going to go to heaven, you're going to go to hell. You're going to restart over again, or you're going to get out of this mess. And then, going to 10 Downing Street on the English side, it's a 174. I thought this was fascinating because according to Manly P. Hall, the 33rd Degree Mason, The Secret Teachings of All Ages, his amazing book, he says that Lucifer, the fallen angel, perhaps maybe this guy right here, is represented by the number 741, which is a direct match, excuse me, of the 174. It doesn't matter which order these are in, it matters what they're showing up as. And then, of course, that is related to the number 70 because the element, now we're bringing alchemy into this. Remember, I showed you the layers we're going to be doing. Ytterbium is the 70th element, and its 173.9 weight is isotope 174. And, you know, the full address of 10 Downing Street in London is coming out to the number 70. So you see the links. And to me, they're undeniable. I don't know what you see, but I don't ignore these things, folks. Especially when now we're looking at this, like, okay, what's going on with spinning the wheel? What does the Yod-Heh-Vah have to do with Lucifer? And let's keep going. Bringing the animal tarot, I didn't mention this in the methods of my decoding, but in the Native American tradition, there's 52 cards matching the 52 weeks. Well, the 10th card is the turtle card, and that indicates Mother Earth. There's 13 circles or pentagrams or hexagrams on a turtle shell, matching that of the lunar phases. So the 13's embedded in there, and of course the 10's of the turtle, matching that of 10 Downing Street, and then we bring alchemy. The 10th element is neon, which of course has another outlet, which is 19, and 19 is the sun card in the tarot. The word London, this is where it gets super interesting, folks. London, if you know anything about the esoteric, is the crown. And crown equals 23. That's why Michael Jordan, LeBron James, that's why they wear that number, because they are entertaining the crown. They work for the crown. All sports conglomerates, they work for the crown. It's a distraction. The reason why I have London here is because that's the central hub. That's where this government is located, in London, in Westminster. London is 31. What the hell does 31 have to do with 23? Well, the 23rd card is the 10 of clubs, and that matches with the word crown. The equivalent of the 10 of clubs in the tarot is the 10 of wands. Wands means clubs. This card here is a matter of taking the world upon your shoulders. Great responsibility. I wonder if that really represents and describes the government of Great Britain. Taking the world on your shoulders, great responsibility. So 31 is related to 23. London is the crown. So you see how it's undeniable that these two systems are in bed together. And they're, look, it doesn't matter who originated who. This supposedly came first, and that's great, but this is an offshoot of that. But see how they're related? Undeniable. And of course, does it always work like this? No. But when you have heavy hitters in the world, they're going to look like this. This tells us a story. I'm almost getting to the arch. Stick with me. London is related to the crown, and here are the latitude, longitude coordinates of London. 51 degrees north. It's 0 degrees west. So the only number I can focus on is the 51. And of course, 51 is related to isotope 51, which is the element vanadium, which is the 23rd element. And of course, I already showed this. The 23rd card is the 10 of clubs, matching that of crown. So I already know, folks, without anybody's permission, just connecting the dots and using frickin' common sense, that vanadium is linked to the crown. And notice the letter V. Notice that letter right there. The V. That's really, really important. It was in Volkswagen. The Vril energy in the German aspect. Germans were after the Vril. V-R-I-L. Vril energy. So if you want to go ahead and say that doesn't make any sense, go study Vril energy in the Germans. That's all about UFO technology. Let's keep going. Here's where it gets interesting. Here's the arch, folks, and here are the zodiac signs. I highlighted the iron that they have here. And then, here's the crown at the top, undeniable right there. And I highlighted this arch, but, of course we could say there's an arch there, there's an arch there, there's Boaz right there, there's Jachin right there, and perhaps that quite could be the case. I wanted to highlight this because it leads to the crown. So nonetheless, whether this is Boaz and Jachin or this is Boaz and Jachin, maybe it's a double Boaz and Jachin, but nonetheless, you get the point. Notice the window, done on purpose, this window. It has 7 leaves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, matching that of the 7 first zodiac signs, Aries to Libra. And of course, the crown, folks, is Cancer, which is the yin-yang, black and white. Undeniable right here. It is Cancer. And of course, you have a half of a sun there going down because this represents the daylight, the yang, and this right here would represent the yin, underworld, the upside down world. But nonetheless, these are all 12 of the zodiac signs. So you'll notice there's 7 at the top and 5 at the bottom. And I've highlighted the number 10, folks, because 10 is Capricorn. It's the 10th zodiac sign. And then its opposite is Cancer. The number 4, the 4th zodiac sign, representing the heart chakra. So you ultimately have an axis right here, folks. It's 4 and 10. Cancer and Capricorn, which is, of course, the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. See how that fits in there? And this is the dividing line, the equator. We're going to get into that. Cancer and Capricorn equal the number 51. That lines up with the element antimony. And again, if you're new to this, just follow the breadcrumbs. This is the picture the Royal Society of Chemistry wanted to show you, which is the Eye of Horus. Osiris, Horus, Set, ancient Egypt, the all-seeing eye. And of course, if Cancer and Capricorn make up the all-seeing eye, which is on the back of the dollar bill, what does that tell you? This, of course, represents Earth, and this would be heaven. You have both. And, look, London, I showed this, the latitude, longitude of London is 51 degrees north, 0 degrees west. It's 51. Folks, look at London is telling you they represent Cancer and Capricorn and the element antimony. They want to represent these 2 signs. It's right there, the crown, man. Cancer, they're telling you. Folks, I don't need them to assure me this is the truth. This is right on their door. It's on many doors. Let's keep going. I'm going to show you more stuff to support my opinion. The word crown equals 23, which is Cancer. In numerology, this is called the Royal Star of the Lion. That equals 69, giving you the yin-yang. I didn't even add that in there, but if you go type in Royal Star of the Lion in numerology, you're going to get 69. Guarantee it. Remember, Cancer, Capricorn, which are these 2 elements, these 2 zodiac signs, the 4 and the 10, that equals 51. That's antimony. Antimony's average atomic weight is 120.904. When we say 120904, we get the number 322. That's really interesting because Skull and Bones has made the world known that a number that they go off of is 322. So what would you say? What would you say Skull and Bones is linked to? Well, they're linked to antimony, and they're linked to Cancer and Capricorn, and they're linked to the crown. So it's very simple what Skull and Bones really means, and I'm going to show it to you in another instance as well. 322, when we say that, equals the number 55, and remember, 55 is the 10th Fibonacci number, leading us once again to the Yod-Heh-Vah-Heh. So Skull and Bones, folks, like it or not, they worship, they pledge to the Yod, the ancient Israelite god. How about that? Let's keep going. When we look at skull and bones itself, this is all the same. Let's look at this. Focus on this, folks. Follow my trail. Skull and bones equals the number 39. 39th element is yttrium, and yttrium has an abbreviation of the letter Y. Reason why I have a snake here is because a snake's tongue is in the shape of the letter Y, which is really interesting because Eve was deceived by a snake, supposedly. I wonder who deceived the person named Eve. And of course, remember the number 88's the number of time travel. Marty McFly had to get the DeLorean to 88 miles an hour to time travel. It's really interesting. So, is this story in the Bible just a bunch of BS? Throwing you off? Is it really this entity telling you it's really the serpent, but really when it's just this entity? Heavy stuff to look at. When we go a little bit further using the Chaldean, this is the change up here. 120904, matching that of antimony's weight, equals the number 115 instead of 322. 115 is linked to the 50th element tin. That's one of its weights. And 50 is extremely important because Knights Templar equals the number 50. Who do you think the Knights Templar works for, folks? It's just the Skull and Bones. The Skull and Bones is an extension of the Knights Templar. It's just the New Age Knights Templar, folks. They didn't go away. It's just Skull and Bones, which is, of course, linked to Yale. And Yale is the letter Y. Skull and Bones is at Yale, folks. And that's right there. It's right there in your face. I mean, you can't look at this and tell me these are not conclusive, folks. These are direct hits. Direct. Let's get into the nitty-gritty on the 4 and 10. This is the 4. Cancer's the 4th sign. Capricorn's the 10th, which is why the 10 is right there in the door. I mean, look at this symbology right here. It blew me away when I looked at this photograph. But anyway, I'm not going to get too crazy, man. Anyway, Cancer's 4, Capricorn is 10. Crown is 23, which is Cancer, right there, 23. And this is what tied everything together. And to me, you don't have to be a believer of anything else I told you, but how do you deny this? When you say 4, it equals 23, matching that of Crown, which is Cancer, right here. How do you deny that? And I'm not using multiple ciphers, by the way. I'm using one. It's easy to match with multiple ciphers, some of you. Use one. Capricorn is the 10th zodiac sign, and the word 10 equals 14, matching that of Satan. Hey, I'm not saying that Satan's real. I don't care. The idea of him, and so many billions and trillions of people thinking he is real, made him real. Go study self-fulfilling prophecy. And then come back to this video. These are hard facts, folks, with supporting evidence. I'm not just stating my opinion. Look at these outcomes. So now what we have on the table is we have Crown and Satan, which is right here. It's no secret that Capricorn is the goat. The goat is Baphomet, and many people link Baphomet to Satan. It's not a secret, folks. Well, if you need a confirmation on these connections, here they are. And here are the connections. Crown's 23, 4 is 23, Cancer's number 4, and there is your Crown. It's obvious. They put this over the door, and you can see it right here. I didn't make this up, folks. It's loud and clear. They just didn't put the zodiac symbols on the outside of the door, but they're right there. And that's where 10-4 Good Buddy came in. If you never looked at this is from these came around in the 1940s, but didn't become popular to the 1970s. And this is a very popular thing to say. 10-4 Good Buddy, over and out, 10-4 Good Buddy. Notice 10-4. 10-4 Good Buddy, over and out. You think these things are by accident? done on purpose. 10-4, good buddy, equals 75. Now we get into alchemy. The element rhenium, the 75th element, links to the 75. When we say rhenium, it equals 28, and of course, Lucifer equals the number 28. So where are we going with this? Again, 10-4, folks. Is Lucifer tied to Cancer and Capricorn? The two aspects of them hovering over the equator. Yin and yang. Let's see. Stick with me. This is where it gets interesting. I want you to focus on this side. We've already gone over on this side. Let's focus on this side. 4 and 10 are right here. Cancer and Capricorn. 4 and 10. Now we bring in the cards. The 23rd card and the 14th card. It's the 10 of clubs and the ace of clubs. And when you say 10 clubs, ace clubs, that's how you would say it in numerology, or how you say it through speaking your spells. 10 clubs, ace clubs. You get the number 57. 57 is linked to the element nickel, the 28th element, because nickel has an atomic weight of 57. So you have 57 and 28 in question. The word Lucifer equals the number 28. And then the element lanthanum has a proton of 57, has 57 protons. So these are linked together, and we're going to get into more of that. But I want you to follow along, folks. The 5-7 is where it's at. It tells a massive story. We're using these as a bridge. These have different meanings, these cards, but we're using them as a bridge through numerology, through alchemy, to tell us the story of what 4 and 10 means. Cancer and Capricorn. When we bring the elements of the periodic table, once again, follow on this side. 4 and 10, 23 and 14, that's vanadium and silicon. Notice the S as in snake, serpent, silicon. 23 and 14, 4 and 10. When you say vanadium and silicon, these are the outcomes using the English ordinal and the Chaldean. 166 and 51. I already showed 51 linking to antimony earlier. I'm not making this stuff up, folks. And then the word tetragrammaton equals the number 166. And, look, for an extension on antimony, which is 51, which is 23 and 14, follow the breadcrumbs. That equals the number 28, which matches that of Lucifer. And again, I want to take the good and bad out of this. I'm not bringing into this presentation evil and bad and good. I'm just showing you connections, and it's up to you to make the decision on what you want to believe. What about the Cancer and Capricorn? Now we're going to look at this individually. Cancer is a 19 and Capricorn is a 32. So we go over to the 19th card and the 32nd card, matching that of Cancer and Capricorn. We get the 6 of clubs and the 6 of diamonds. And if you put those two cards together, folks, what stands out in your mind right now? What are the two numbers that pop out at you? 66. One short of 666. 66 is just one number off from that 666. And when you say 6 clubs, 6 diamonds, you get the number 64, and the reason why I'm showing the double helix is because there are 64 possible patterns for a codon, which is the double helix, which is our freaking DNA, which is the black and white, folks. This is Cancer and Capricorn right here. That's what this is indicating to me. But what is it that you see? What do you see, folks, with your eyes? And your instincts and your logic? Got to use that stuff and common sense. How about the tarot? We've already showed the 19th card and the 32nd card is the 6 of clubs and the 6 of diamonds, matching that of Cancer and Capricorn, which of course is right here. Well, the cousin cards in the tarot, the Six of Clubs is the Six of Wands. Wands means clubs. The Six of Diamonds is the Six of Pentacles. And in the lineage of these cards, the Six of Wands and the Six of Pentacles is the 27th card and the 69th card. When you add 69 plus 27, you go ahead and add that up with your calculator. You tell me what that means right there. It's 96, which is yin yang, which is the Capricorn Cancer. It's what it's telling us. It's the yin and yang, folks. Do you see how these layers all link up? They're all bridging each other to tell a story of what it means. So here is the three things in our world: Cancer, Capricorn, and the equator. Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn. Right now, we are the Tropic of Cancer, and below us is the Tropic of Capricorn. Expansion, contraction, expansion, contraction. And the equator is what separates the two. When you say Cancer, equator, and Capricorn, that equals the master number 77. The 77th card in the tarot deck is the King of Pentacles. Notice the master number, and then its equivalent in the cards of Illumination is the 39th card, the King of Diamonds. Of course, 39, folks, is the element yttrium. Again, the snake's tongue, the Y. And of course, time travel, 88. So these cards, although they don't have the same numbers, they're connected. It's just you have to use connections. Follow the breadcrumbs. Numerology, tarot, cards of illumination, alchemy, common sense. Let's get into the tree of life, folks, the Kabbalah. Kabbalah has everything to do with astrology and numerology and Boaz and Jachin. Everything to do with it. And I placed it on the door over 10 Downing Street. And of course, to me, the top Sephiroth is not 1. It's 10. Again, this is my opinion, but I'm going to show you with supporting evidence. Above and beyond what history has told you, I think the Tree of Life, it's wrong. It's not accurate. They got them mixed up. They put Malkuth down here. I don't think that's accurate. I think this is the 0. Earth is pi. All encompassing. Pi is the never-ending digits. It's infinite. Earth has infinite potential. This would control that. Male, female. And then we just have female, because Earth is just feminine. It grows. It's the 0, the cosmic egg. It feeds us. It gives us life. Then you have the sun and moon offering its masculinity, but Earth is 0, folks. And here it is on the door. Right there in plain sight. Here is the lion's. You can knock on the door. It's the lion, and then I don't know what this is. I don't know if this was a doorbell or a doorknob. But to me, it's said it loud and clear what's going on here. And here we go, folks. Let's get into that. Here is what I believe to be the most accurate rendition. And I may be going against all the odds of what every scholar and Jewish mystic, and they all going to tell you probably something different. I'm not going to get into what the words are and the Sephiroths, what the names are. I'm going into the numbers. This is what I think is accurate, folks. And I'm going to show you with supporting evidence why I believe that. I'm going to back it up. So, you have 10 Sephiroths here. You don't count the 0, but you have 10 here. And this is Earth, Malkuth. Here's your flash of creation, encompassing all, and it goes right to left because it goes from east to west. Everything started out in the east, so it has to start out here and then go here to 9, then go to 8, then through 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. The Wheel of Fortune card is the 10th card in the tarot, which was the reason why they have 10 Downing Street, because they are the boss of spinning the wheel. Remember, Yod-Heh-Vah-Heh is inside that wheel. So if you had 0 here, it would be the Fool card. I don't think that's the proper representation of that position of the tree. I don't. Because you got to go up. You got to go back up. To ascend, you have to start here and go up. And when you get to the top, you got to spin the wheel, folks, to decide your fate. What makes more sense? And of course, you know, are you going to choose the devil or are you going to choose Jesus or Archangel Michael? You know, the blue and there's the blue and red. The cop cars, United States flag, Great Britain, they all have the blue and red there. Hello, telling you a story. Why would they choose 10? Why wouldn't they put 0 there? Because there's the tree of life. The 4 fixed signs are in that card. They're right there. Ox, lion, eagle, man. Ox, lion, eagle, man equals 55. And when you add up the numbers 1 through 10, you get the number 55. 55 is the 10th Fibonacci number. And of course, the 10th letter in the Hebrew alphabet is the Yod. That's why they named it 10 Downing Street, the headquarters of the government of Great Britain. I promise you, this is the way it is, folks. I may be going against the grain, but hey, somebody's got to do it. Let me give you some more. The word crown, I've already shown you, is the number 23. I've matched that with the word Mercury. Why do I have Mercury in here? Because Mercury is the 80th element. Its atomic weight is 200. When you say 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, which is what I have here, you add up and you get the number 200. And why is this important? Because Mercury is the planet of communication. And you're going to have another tree of life up top here mirroring this one. As above, so below. This is the so below tree of life. We need Mercury to communicate what we do down here on Earth to the as above. And of course, you know, this is what signifies everything, and it tells us this is accurate because crown, which is right here, is Mercury. Mercury's the boss to communicate to the as above. I mean, unless you can refute that, folks, go ahead and try to refute it. I'm going to kind of be an asshole a little bit because I stand firm in my work, my research. I go above and beyond the call of duty. Most people just give their opinion with nothing to support it. This is what I believe is to be the truth, showing you numbers and alchemy and tarot cards to support that. Let's keep going. Lucifer. How does Lucifer fit into all this? Well, supposedly the fallen angel, according to Manly P. Hall, his number is the number 741. If that's the case, then he would be right here, stuck in the middle of the tree of life. He's governed by the 10 and the 0, and then the 369 is on his right or his left, and the 258 is on his left or right. He's stuck, he's encaged, can't get out. What would make sense, folks? Putting the numbers somewhere else, or putting him right here where he's encaged and he's surrounded by all these numbers. He can't get out. That's what makes more sense to me. When you say 741, that equals the number 64, and I said 64 is the number related to DNA. It's related to the codons, it's related to the I Ching, and let's not forget there are 64 squares on a chessboard. You think that's done on accident? Here is to support this even more, folks, 741, 7 is dot, 4 is Teferat, or Tiferet, and 1 is Yesod. These right here. When you add up these three in numerology, and these are the original Hebrew, it would be 42, 82, and 35. The number 741 through Hebrew numerology, through the Zephyros, is the number 159. That's the 66th element. Dysprosium, the 66th element, has an atomic weight of 159. That's one short of 666, folks. What does that have to do with anything? Let's keep going. How about the middle pillar all together. I feel like they blew down the Twin Towers in New York. Here they were right here, the masculine and feminine. It's the blending. This is the blending of the masculine and feminine, which is why I believe transgenderism is here. They're trying to deliver a energy to the world that is androgynous. It's male and female. Which, of course, if you're going to deliver a God to the world, it's going to be male-female. It's not going to be one or the other. It has to be both, which is the middle pillar. And that's why this has significance. When you add up the numbers 10 plus 7 plus 4 plus 1 plus 0, you get the number 22, and 22 is linked to change. Alchemy equals 22, change equals 22. But the kicker, folks, is the 22nd element. It's titanium, which is it the Titans. It's the Olympians versus the Titans. You know, Washington, D.C., White House, Tetragrammaton, they all equal the number 47. What does that tell us? Perhaps this is the path that we're all leading towards. This is the gray path, by the way, the neutral path, because one would be black and one would be white. This is the neutral path. Let's not forget the 22nd card leading to the middle path is the 9 of clubs. The 9 of clubs equals the number 33, and of course that's linked to ascension, which is another number 33. Is this our path to ascension? The middle path. Of course, this is where our spinal cord would be, right in the damn middle of the tree of life. 33 vertebrae in our spinal cord. You see how these things all link up, and to me they're just undeniable, folks. Because it's not just giving my opinion. I mean, look at these strong tie-ins. 33, 33, middle path, 33 vertebrae in our spinal cord, the path to enlightenment. 10 is the top of the Sephiroth, the tree of life. The 9 of clubs is the 9 of wands. Wands means clubs. That's why I have the line here connecting the two. The 9 of wands is the the 30th card. That's linked to element zinc, and zinc is linked to the YHVH because they share the 63. You see it there? So is this telling us our path of ascension will lead us to this character right here? Is this the boss? Is this the boss? Is this where we're going? If we follow this stuff. If we follow this puzzle. I mean, you know, look, this card right here, this is the 9 of wands, and if you go read about this, this is a guy, look at him, he's got a bandage around his head. He's been through wars. So if you're going to get to the top, man, you've been through a lot of wars. You know? Which is the 9 of the mind. Clubs means mind. 9 means endings and completions. So you see how all this fits. It may be a little confusing, you just got to follow the numbers. What about Metatron? Metatron fits right in here. The symbol of Metatron fits right in the tree of life. It encompasses the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All of these right here. All of them. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, when you add those up, folks, they equal the number 28. Which is Metatron Lucifer? Or is he just the 741? You know? Is the 3, 6, 5, 2 governing him? There's so many different ways to look at it. Metatron is, of course, made famous by the Judeo-Islamic mythology, and here it is in the Hebrew. There it is decoding through the Hebrew, and that equals the number 71. And what's interesting is the 71st element is lutetium, and the word Lucifer is a 3-syllable word, Lucifer. Lu. 71, Metatron. Is Metatron holding Lucifer captive? Is he watching over him? Or is Metatron really Lucifer? When you add up Metatron through Hebrew, it's a 6-letter word. Here are the alchemical elements. 13, 9, 9, 26, 14. Let me zoom in on that if you're new to this. Here it is. This is Metatron. 6 letters. 13, 9, 9, 26, 14. We match that up with alchemy, 13, 9, 9, 26, 14. We want to add those up. Here are the atomic weights of those elements. So now we're getting into alchemy. When we go over to the trusty calculator and add those up, we get a total of 144.918. Folks, you Bible thumpers, the 144,000 are the chosen ones. Another angle to observe from, folks. Do we have to be part of Metatron to be saved? And is Metatron Lucifer, or is he holding him captive, or are they one in the same? Metatron is a 32 in the Chaldean, and that's a mirror of the word crown, which is 23. Together, 23 and 32 equal 55, and that leads us right back to number 10, 10 Downing Street, which is the Wheel of Fortune, the 10th card, which again, I'll remind you, the Yod-Heh-Vah is inside on that disc. It's there on purpose. It's not there on accident, folks. Here's another layer to observe things from. Bet you didn't think the Arch, the Boaz and Jachin would get into Lucifer's sigil now, did you? And again, these are possibilities. I overlay Lucifer's sigil onto the Tree of Life. The big standout to me, folks, is the letter V inside. Because, you know, if it didn't have these shapes here, I mean, if you look at this, if it didn't have these here, I would say maybe it's not a V, but this is it made it there to stand out. What does the V mean? Well, when you look at the periodic table, the only element that has the letter V as its abbreviation is vanadium. I already showed this because the word crown equals 23 and the 23rd element is vanadium. So does Lucifer represent, or is he representing the element vanadium, which is the crown? To go further, vanadium through numerology is a 28, and that matches with Lucifer. Of course, 28 is nickel, which is 57, and I already showed what 57 was. But when we go a little bit further, what does Jesus have to do with this? Jesus is an 18, but it's a far cry from the 23. There are no direct links. But here's the link, folks. When you study vanadium through the Royal Society of Chemistry, you'll understand that this word is derived from this right here. Phrygia, the goddess of the planet Venus. And of course, that through numerology is an 18, which matches that of Jesus. So, could Lucifer be Jesus? Or are they just counterparts controlling this matrix reality? The black and the white. Good cop, bad cop. There is good and evil in this world. Perhaps Jesus is the good cop and Lucifer's the bad cop. But they are one and the same. I mean, that thing fits right in there, folks. Look at the V sitting right into that triangle of the Tree of Life, folks. I mean, I think it's undeniable. It fits right in there, man. And, you know, look, there's the 741. I mean, this holds the 7, this holds the 4, and this holds the 1. Perhaps that is what it's indicating. Let's keep going. I think this is my last slide. It is. I wanted to bring mankind into this, folks. Placing the body of a man there. Of course, this is, you know, kind of how the height of a man would be walking through that door. And look at, if you put the Tree of Life there, matching up with the 10 would be where our head is, which is the crown. This is where our crown is. And then where the lion door knock was, is where the heart is. Lion heart. And then, you know, where, I don't know what the hell this thing is. I don't know if it's a doorknob, a doorbell. I mean, this is it can't be a doorbell. There's the doorbell. What the hell is this thing? I mean, strategically placed on that door, folks, on purpose, not coincidental. I mean, I would say that would represent Venus or the sexual organs. I made these purple and green because that's the 47. Neptune would be the crown. Neptune is the 7th planet, folks. Neptune is 7. Neptune is purple. Neptune is royal. Then you have Pluto the destroyer. That's above the crown. That disrupts the crown. And then, the lion heart. But the heart is always 4. Jupiter. So you got 47 here, folks. That's where the tree falls into place. So what is it that you saw during this presentation? Folks, thanks for sticking with me. I know I've been through a lot of information, some things you've probably never seen before. I'd love to hear what you want to add to this. Really. I believe this is the reason why they have this door and why the 10's there. This is all related to the Arch in Freemasonry. I mean, this address is over 300 years old. 10 Downing Street. Do you think these architects built this thing based around astrology? I know it for a fact. Look at them right here. There's the arch. There's the 7 signs. And 7 means completion. God, this is the great work, and then 7th day of rest. And then, of course, you have 7 here, and then you have 5. That's 75 or 57. And I showed the 57, folks. I showed the 57, which is right here. You have 7, and then you have 5. 57. And that's linked to lanthanum because 57 is linked to nickel, which is linked to Lucifer. So is Lucifer the controller of the zodiac? Is he running the government of Great Britain? Does he run the crown? Is he in control of the crown? And again, I'm not saying he's a bad guy, man. I'm not labeling it that way. I'm simply showing you links that to me are undeniable. It is these two right here. It is Cancer and Capricorn, the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. Those are linked to the crown and Satan. And of course, remember, 4 and 10 equals 14. Cancer, Capricorn. Look at what 14 is. 14 is 10. 10 is 10 Downing Street. 14 is the word Satan. And of course, that just means service to self. Service to the ego. Not service to others. Let's leave these energies out of it. Let's leave the biblical aspects. Let's just focus on service to self or service to others. Do you think that the British government has your best interests at heart? No way, folks. Not on my watch. Well, anyway, that's all I got for today. My name is Logan. This is Decode Your Reality. I thank you so very much for watching. Until next time.